The name Porsche brings up images of superiority, lavishness, and exclusivity. As soon as you hear that word, pictures of sleek, fast automobiles, screaming engines, and the excitement of the open road immediately flood your mind. However, hidden underneath the glitz and success of this illustrious company is a tale that is as interesting and unsettling in equal measure. In this video, we will go on a trip through the history of Porsche, investigating how it became one of the most successful and influential automotive companies in the world, while having to face some of the most severe hurdles that the industry has ever seen. The history of Porsche began with its namesake Ferdinand Porsche, who also served as the company's first CEO. Porsche was an exceptionally talented engineer who worked for a number of prominent German automobile manufacturers, including Mercedes-Benz and Auto Union. However, he wanted to design and manufacture his own vehicles and launch his own business. In 1931, he laid the groundwork for what would become Porsche AG by establishing Porsche Engineering. The design of the Volkswagen Beetle was one of the first significant initiatives undertaken by Porsche. This vehicle became an instant classic and is widely considered to be among the most commercially successful automobiles of all time. The success of the Volkswagen Beetle was essential in establishing Porsche as a significant producer of automobiles, and it also prepared the door for the business to enter the market for sports cars. The first Porsche sports vehicle, the 356, was released to the public in 1948. The Porsche 356 was a commercial success, and it helped cement the company's reputation as a maker of high-performance, luxury sports vehicles. The 356 was equipped with a lightweight body and a rear-mounted engine, both of which contributed to the vehicle's superb handling and performance. Porsche continued to be a pioneer in the automotive industry during the 1950s and 1960s, when it did things like introduce new models and push the envelope of automotive engineering. The Porsche 911, which debuted in 1963, is often regarded as the model that best represents the Porsche brand. The Porsche 911 was a game-changing automobile that established brand-new benchmarks in terms of both performance and handling. It was equipped with a 6-cylinder engine that was cooled by air. It had a unique aerodynamic design, both of which contributed to its easy recognition. In spite of its success up to that point, Porsche was confronted with a lot of difficulties during this period. The firm was having financial difficulties, and it was up against fierce competition from other producers of premium automobiles. In spite of this, Porsche was successful in overcoming these obstacles as a result of its devotion to quality as well as innovation. During the 1970s and 1980s, Porsche was confronted with new problems as the emphasis of the automobile industry started to change due to growing worries about the environment and shifting tastes among consumers. Despite this, Porsche was able to meet the problem head-on by developing new models that prioritized environmental friendliness and fuel economy, without compromising on the brand's signature performance or luxury. The Porsche 959 was one of the most significant automobiles to be released during this time period. The 959 was a technical wonder, including cutting-edge technology like all-wheel drive, variable torque distribution, and a sophisticated suspension system among its list of impressive specifications. With a peak speed of almost 200 kilometers per hour, the 959 was also one of the quickest vehicles available during its time period. Porsche continued to prosper during the 1990s and 2000s, becoming one of the most successful and renowned automobile companies in the world in the process. The business proceeded to release new models that pushed the limits of automotive engineering, such as the Porsche Boxster and the Porsche Cayenne. These vehicles were examples of the company's success. In spite of all of Porsche's success over the years, the firm has encountered a great deal of difficulty in the form of hurdles along the road. The worldwide economic and financial crisis that began in 2008 was one of the most serious difficulties that we faced. As a result of the deteriorating state of the global economy and the concurrent fall in consumer demand for luxury automobiles, Porsche had to resort to extreme measures in order to maintain its business. In 2008, Porsche made an offer to acquire Volkswagen, which was the most important automobile manufacturer in Europe at the time. Over the course of many years, Porsche made methodical investments in Volkswagen stock, and by the year 2008, it had acquired a holding that gave it majority control of the business. The worldwide economic downturn, on the other hand, made it impossible for Porsche to fund the purchase, and the business was ultimately compelled to take on an enormous amount of debt in order to do so. As more and more money was owed, Porsche found itself in an increasingly difficult financial situation. The firm had a significant amount of debt and was having trouble making the required payments on time. In the end, Porsche had to pull out of its attempt to acquire Volkswagen and instead was compelled to sell its interests in the firm in order to satisfy its financial obligations. In spite of the obstacle, Porsche did not waver in its dedication to the company's fundamental principles, which are quality and innovation. The firm continued to push the envelope of automotive engineering and design in the years that followed the release of its first model, introducing new technologies and models on a regular basis. The adoption of electric and hybrid technology by Porsche is among the most important changes that have occurred over the span of the last several years. The Porsche Taker, the first electric car produced by the firm, was introduced to the public in 2019, and it has received a lot of accolades for its outstanding performance and handling. The Porsche Taker is one of the most sophisticated electric cars now available on the market, and it has helped to reinforce Porsche's position as a pioneer in the advancement of automotive technology, thanks to its ability to go more than 200 miles on a single charge. The employees at Porsche have also been subjected to their fair share of difficulties. In recent years, the corporation has been involved in a number of labor disputes and strikes, during which employees have demanded improved compensation and working conditions, as well as the ability to form a union. In 2017, Porsche employees staged their first walkout in more than a decade in order to voice their desire for a 6% salary increase. The walkout continued for a week and had a negative impact on the output at the company's plants. The disagreement was finally addressed, and not before it brought to light the difficulties that exist between Porsche's employees and management. In more recent times, Porsche has been the target of criticism after allegations of gender discrimination and harassment. A former executive at Porsche has filed a lawsuit against the company, claiming that she was paid less than her male co-workers and was forced to work in an intimidating atmosphere. The action was filed in 2019. Even though the matter is still being pursued, it has prompted others to wonder how committed Porsche is to diversity and inclusion. Porsche has always been a business that has been committed to pushing the limits of what is possible in automotive engineering and design. From its early days as a modest engineering firm to its present position as one of the most iconic and successful automotive brands in the world, Porsche has always been one of the few companies that has maintained this dedication. Porsche has a long and illustrious history, and it has always been committed to being the best at what it does, so it is likely that it will continue to motivate people to purchase luxury automobiles for many years to come. In the end, the history of Porsche is an extraordinary one that is packed with both victories and difficulties. Porsche has always been a corporation that has been dedicated to quality, innovation, and performance ever from its beginnings as a modest engineering firm in Germany and continuing all the way through its ascent to its current position as one of the most well-known and iconic automotive brands in the world. Today, Porsche is more than simply a vehicle brand. It is also a symbol of power, luxury, and exclusivity, and it continues to inspire people all over the globe who are passionate about automobiles and who purchase luxury automobiles.